All right. As Congresswoman Kamik speaks, we do want to bring in Congressman Greg Murphy of North Carolina. Congressman, how do you plan on voting in the sixth round?
Hey, Bob, I plan on voting Kevin McCarthy. I think Kevin has earned this. And I will say this, we've been in negotiation with folks who opposed some of the things that were going on in full transparency for the last 6+ weeks, if not longer. And I think Kevin has earned the spot. I mean, we've made, I don't want to say concessions, but I think we've done some really, really good things over the last weeks, bringing some strategy back to the rules process of the House. However, when any negotiations occur, there has to be an endpoint. You can't keep moving the goal line, and that's unfortunately what's been happening. And so, democracy is messy. Our best asset as Republicans is our individualism. Our hardest asset and biggest challenge is our individualism. And I'm hopeful that at some point they will, those who are opposing Kevin will understand that, this is not doing the Republican and conservative cause any good. We need to get back to fighting inflation, getting our border secure, attacking crime in the streets, dealing with our poor showing overseas, and actually get back to those issues. But right now, this has become a massive distraction. I don't fault anybody for raising the question. That's what we're here to do. That's why our folks and citizens back home send us here. But at some point, you have to say, what is the goalpost? What is the end point, rather than what is just being an obstructive process? That's all.
Congressman, what's it going to take for Kevin McCarthy to get those 218 votes?
I think Kevin has sat down with each of the individuals who've been in opposition and said, okay, what are your concerns? And unfortunately, some of that has just changed from day to day. And so it's been difficult. I told Chip Roy the other day that I was very proud of the way that he brought up some challenges and opposition. I also said the same thing to Kevin. I said I was very proud about the way you handle this. I'm a surgeon. I'm not sure I could be so quite understanding and sympathetic and patient as he has been at this point in time. All of us have been getting texts from our constituents back home. But I will tell you, I've been in the room. I've been in part of what people are discussing. And I think Kevin is personally the best person responsible for doing this. You have to be, at the end of the day, you have to be for something. You can't be just against something. You have to be for something. And so I hope my colleagues will understand that, that their point is made. Kevin has listened, which I give tribute to him for doing that. But at some point, at the end of the day, you have to lay your arms down, because all you're doing is emboldening the Democratic narrative of wokeism and destruction of this country. And do you really want to be an enabler of that? I don't think they do.
Any moment now, we're expecting a nomination from some of the group of 20, for lack of a better description, in which they put forward another nominee. It may be Byron Donalds again from Florida. We don't know. But if there were a name like a Steve Scalise, does that change the dynamic at all?
I wouldn't expect that at all, because, I've talked to a couple members. They just want all leadership, anybody who's been here before, taken out. Doesn't seem overly logical to me. Steve is a good guy, but Steve has been very supportive of Kevin and the efforts, and so I wouldn't anticipate that. Again, the goal line has moved to different people at different times. Okay, you've made your point. Let's actually stand together as Republicans and fight the causes that we're here to fight. And that's against the wokeism and the Biden absolute blunders of an administration. That's what we're here to fight, not each other.
Congressman, as Americans are watching this and they're seeing their elected representatives duking it out, over many saying over things that are more ego-based than policy-based, do you think that potential frustration could hurt the Republican Party? Absolutely,
Katrina. It already has. It actually already has. And in some ways, and again, I don't want to get into all the nitpicking and stuff. I think at some point, you have to say, okay, we're adults in the room. We've been the adults in the room. The Democrats have been the children governing based upon emotion. We're the ones who are supposed to have rational thought, understand that what our actions do actually have consequences in the future, and that I think my colleagues, hopefully in opposition, will understand that they've made their point at the end of the day. But it is hurting. It is hurting our Republican cause, and I honestly don't believe they want to do that. But I would just hope that they would wake up and see how much damage it's actually already caused.